7:07, good morning. Right, anger at the police, anger at the lack of jobs, and simply because they could get away with it. Those are the main reasons that rioters and looters have given for why they took over the streets of the cities across London for 4 days in August. In the first report into why they said they did it. Now, researchers from the London School of Economics and the Guardian newspaper spoke to 270 people who were directly involved in the riots.
I actually wanted to burn the cars and just see it burn as well. I saw it as my opportunity, now was the opportunity to get revenge.
They were within 10, 20 feet from officers, vandalising their vehicles, throwing bricks and everything, and the police they weren't doing nothing. There was no authority shown.
Well, others said they had no regrets after setting fire to police cars.
We enjoyed it. I felt no guilt, nothing. I know it's only one less police car, but I know when they come back, just seeing their faces, I would love to have seen their faces, to be honest with you.
Well, Paul Davis, the Secretary of the Police Federation's Operational Policing Subcommittee, which released a report about the riots from the perspective of rank-and-file police officers on Friday. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Very well. I'm fascinated hearing those voices there, and quite a number of our listeners are pretty enraged by what they're hearing, I've got to tell you.
I'm quite... it is disturbing, actually.
Yeah. Let me introduce... Sorry, Paul, let me introduce Khalid O'Byrne is with us as well. He's a youth worker and mentor in North West London.
Morning, Khalid.
Hello, Khalid. Just check he's there. Let's get him. Let's check one more time. You there, Khalid?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. Excellent. Good to have you on. Paul, what were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Nicky. My voice has gone this morning for some reason. I don't know why. No, I'm quite disturbed by it, actually, because, I've been a police officer 28 years, and what's experienced is, yes, there may be problems in certain areas where communication between the police has broken down. I think it's our responsibility to try and get that back with people like Carly, to try and understand what the problems are with the youth of today, or the general public, I think, in some areas.
Carly, isn't this just an excuse? Angry with the police. Nicotelli, how does that work?
I wouldn't say it's an excuse. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that 8% of those involved weren't youth, and I'm just talking from young people's perspective, as I'm a youth worker and as I'm 20, so I'm quite young myself. And to be honest, I'm not surprised at the reasons. There's been these issues have been going on for a long time. Issues like poor community and police relations, deprivation, lack of opportunity, and belief in young people. And
quite a lot of the people who were nicked, and we saw it in the newspapers, had plenty of opportunity. We were talking about, young Olympic hopeful. We were talking about university students, people with everything in front of them. So,
well, that's a small minority that the media is sort of putting across,
focused on,
but what I'm saying is, if you give them nothing, you give them nothing to lose. And it's not just down to the government, it's also down to the media, who need to show more positive young people, positive role models to inspire young people. And one of the things that's not spoke about a lot is that it's also down to these multi-million-pound corporations which make so much money off of people in the UK and young people, but don't give back enough to the community. Now, there's people...
Okay, one at a time. The media don't give enough positive role models to young people. Give us some examples of what they could be doing and what they're not doing at the moment.
I mean, I've been given examples in my youth club by young people. Like the other day, we had a sort of talk on the riots, and a young person said, if I go outside right now and I stab somebody, I'm going to reach the newspaper. But if I go out and I change somebody's life and I do something amazing, I'm not going to reach the newspaper. And that's an example that a lot of young people see right now, that if you do positive things, you're not really going to get shown for doing that. And the only way to get your voice out there and to get shown in the media is to do something bad. So that's quite a sad fact.
Did you buy that, Paul?
No, that's sensationalism to me. What is it? Do they want to be in the public eye in a particular way? I think if they want that respect and that responsibility, they've got to understand what their rights are and how they go about their business. And we all have to play a part in how we do that. And we can't just say, I'm going to get in the press if I go out and stab somebody. That's outrageous.
It's not about that they want to get out in the press for that. I'm saying that they don't get shown enough for the good things, that if they do something bad, that they will get out in the press. But if they do something good, there's not enough positive role models out there.
Carly, we're not responsible for what goes in or out the media. That's sometimes from the editors in the newspapers.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's down to the police.
I can give you lots and lots of examples where police officers work day in and day out in those communities that you talk about and I talk about.
Yeah, and I can give you examples.
And hang on. What I'm trying to say is that lots of examples, good examples, where police officers are working very, very hard in community initiatives and everything else to try and break down some of the issues, the breakdown of society and everything else, that don't get anywhere near. The other week, I was at the Police Review Awards. Sadly, the Police Review is no longer with us. Lots and lots of police officers, 600 police officers plus in a room, all being given awards for all the hard work they've done around the country. Last week, the Police Federation had a seminar, a detective seminar, and okay, that's at the other extreme in terms of investigation, but that was giving out awards to those hard-working detectives that go about their business. And I think that some of that, you're right, it doesn't reach the media, and I think what the role that we all play a part here to hopefully bring on these young people.
But you should do the right things, surely, Carly. People should do the right things and good things in society for the right reasons. You don't do it for recognition. You don't help another human being for recognition.
No, but it's
you
not
help
about
another human being to help another human being. And many of the people who suffered in the riots were ordinary people with ordinary shops trying to eke out a living. They had their shops burned and they had their shops destroyed. So how does this relate to the what you describe as the multinational corporate companies making millions off the back of ordinary people? How does that relate?
Because my example of that is saying that right now consumerism is at an all-time high, but affordability is at an all-time low, and there's corporations.
It's not at an all-time low.
Well, it's at quite a low. They can't afford the things that they aspire to afford to. A lot of young people aspire to afford things like I don't know if you know what True Religion jeans are. They cost £300. I'm seeing 10-year-olds who aspire to buy things like that, and Apple Macs and stuff like this. And I'm saying companies like Apple and
why don't their parents companies like Apple go on, sorry.
I was just saying, like, people like Steve Jobs, I hear a lot about him, and rest in peace, and he seems like a very inspirational man, but companies like that, they don't invest enough in the community that they're making so much money off of, and young people aspire to afford things like this which they can't afford in this day and age. Lack of jobs, lack of money.
I wanted stuff, and we all wanted stuff, and my parents said if you want to ever get that stuff, you've got to work hard and you've got to get
but as you know, the statistics right now, the jobs to make that money to get them stuff aren't really there for them young people, and the only sort of jobs that they think they can get are certain things like working in your local corner shop or your local grocery shop or things like that, and not every young person wants to do that. Even if young people are passionate about certain things, it's hard to get jobs within that. It was hard enough for me to get a part-time job within youth work at the moment, so I just think it's too difficult for them to get them jobs right now.
Well, listen.
Can I just add something there?
Last word, Paul. Go on.
I think from what I'm hearing is, look, I think whether it's young people or how people are growing up, the word no, you can't have it, they don't seem to like. They've got to earn it in some way, shape or form, and I think that comes from hard work at school. Hard work then brings results. Hard work on the sports field to be these role models that we talk about.
Doesn't work for everyone, does it?
Doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody, and I have to accept that.
Carly, thank you very much, and Paul Davis as well.